Post Early for Christmas. Written by Christopher Audrey, featuring Electra Gamer, Tommy Bauer, Crane Engine Studios, and Bad Rare Illumini. The winter holidays were always a joyous occasion on the island of Sodor. Christmas is coming, and all the letters, cards, and parcels posted from Farquhar were carried along Thomas's branch line to the sorting offices up at Tidmouth. This year, however, the trains became heavier and heavier. One day, about a week before Christmas, the people at the post office in Farquhar asked for a special train that evening. The Stationmaster agreed and arranged for Percy to take it in the morning. Around lunchtime, the sky clouded over thick and heavy from the east. It began to snow, not hard at first, but by tea time it had turned into a blizzard.
Just my luck having to go out again in this weather,
Percy grumbled, shivering amongst the cold.
I'd much rather be in my nice warm shed.
Wouldn't we all? Sympathized Toby. If it were any colder than it is now, my frames and belt would surely end up coming off. The driver, however, was having none of it.
Don't go getting into a tizzy, old boy. Orders are orders, and you wouldn't want the children missing their presents on Christmas Day just because you'd rather stay in the shed, would you?
Percy could only sigh in agreement, knowing his driver was right. Soon, his crew fixed a snowplow to his front buffer beam. When all the mail in sacks and packed in big metal trolleys had been loaded onto the train, Percy set off down the line. Rather to his surprise, the snow wasn't too bad. The tunnel was usually the worst place in the snow, but they reached it without trouble. Percy whistled cheerfully as they passed Mrs. Kindly's cottage, but nobody waved in reply. Crimson red curtains were sensibly drawn against the weather, and a warm glow of the light shone through them onto the snow outside. "We'll be all right now," said the fireman as they came safely out into the valley, but he was wrong. They passed the station by the river all right, but they found in the open land lower down the valley that the snow had drifted more deeply. Before they reached the station by the airfield, they realized they could go no further. By now, the snow was level with Percy's buffers, and a sharp wind was blowing snow off the sides of the cutting to pile up around him.
Oh dear, this doesn't look too good. Quickly, Percy, we got to get back to the station, or else we'll get stranded here.
But it was too late. Already the snow was so thick around Percy's wheels that they just spun helplessly and didn't move him, not even an inch.
Well, that's done it. Best head back to the station to tell them what's happened,
The driver told the fireman.
Thank goodness there aren't any scheduled trains or passengers to worry about.
"No," grumbled the fireman. "Only me. You didn't say I need snowshoes, did you?" Once the guard was informed of the fireman's situation and where he was going, he walked up to Percy's cab a little while later to be near the fire.
Make the most of it.
Remarked the driver with a grin.
We can only keep it going however long the coal and water lasts. When the firemen reached the station, they held a conference meeting in the Stationmaster's office.
but the staff wasted no time in sending for help. They thought of sending Thomas or Toby up from Farquhar, but then realized that the weather had become worse along the far depths of the island. By the time either one could reach him, or any other engine they could get on short notice, the snow would probably be thick enough to strand them just like Percy. Not even engines like Donald and Douglas could force their way through the storm in time too.
It's the mail. That's the biggest worry. We can't just leave it stranded out in the snow,
said the stationmaster. Suddenly, the firemen remembered something when they passed by the station earlier. Don't they keep part of the airfield clear at all times? Harold the helicopter's here, isn't he? He could take the mail for us up to the big station.
We can't do that now. They'd never let him take off in this blizzard,
objected the stationmaster.
We'll have to get the clearance for him first thing in the morning.
They soon took hot drinks and food down to Percy's driver and guard. And later on in several journeys brought sacks of mail up to the station. Arrangements were made early next morning. Harold wasted no time in taking to the skies when the weather had cleared. He took as many sacks as he could and kept coming back for more until the mail was cleared. It was afternoon when the job was finished, and Harold arrived on the scene to see Thomas and Toby pull Percy and his train back to Farquhar safely. Everyone was quick to thank the two engines for the rescue when they got back, but they thanked Harold immensely for his help with the posts.
Think nothing of it, old chaps,
he replied.
I couldn't dare to imagine seeing any sad children on Christmas morning if they didn't receive their presents, now would I?
And a good thing too, when help came sooner,
said Percy, smiling warmly.
Now I know what you felt like, Thomas, when you got to collect the treat for the fat Kajola's Christmas party that's one year.
Thomas couldn't help but laugh along with his best friend.
At least you got most out of it this time round, Percy,
said Thomas.
Lucky you kept your fire going until it went out.
True enough. But to be honest, I don't imagine I'll be doing runs like that again. For all, I hope next year, posting early for Christmas can start as soon as it likes.